Bao is absolutely killing it in Singapore.
She put her intentions on my tongue, I taste it rolling through. Can you feel it racing? You go down, keep it rising. I could go down, keep it rising. You should go down, keep it rising. I could go down, 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 keep it rising. You should go down, keep it rising. I could go down, keep it rising. You should go down, keep it rising. We could go down, keep it riding. Come move.
They are now launching in their 9th restaurant. Super cool. Now that I've tasted cultivated meat twice, admittedly only twice, good meat and wild type, I want to explain what I really like about Bao's approach and what I see as probably 3 of the biggest things that the industry needs to solve to be successful in the long term. What I like about Bao is that they are leaning into the weaknesses of cultured meat. So it seems like Bao just said, okay, we're going to throw away the script for how we should run a meat company. This shit is expensive. Let's take that and make it into something new. We need to somehow fund our business, right? There's kind of 2 paths that companies can take. You can either take money from investors for years and years and years like Uber did, or build a business that generates revenue. Of course, you have to still take money from investors, but you don't have to do it for as long. They get to do really cool things with that. When was the last time you tried something for the first time? That is one of their marketing pitches. Cost is an issue for cultivated meat. Eventually, that will be solved with scale. But of course, you need to keep your business running to eventually get the scale and to take advantage of that. So Bao has said, okay, we're going to create something completely new. The second thing is they are leaning into the subpar texture. Both times that I tried cultivated meat, both good meat and wild type, the biggest takeaway I had was the texture wasn't quite there. It was a bit soft. The chicken had more of a chickeny texture to it than I think wild type's fish did, but they're different products. One's a chicken, one's a fish, so you have to do texture slightly differently. As far as chicken goes, the texture for the chicken was also a little bit soft. So it seems like we're not quite there with texture, and that's the second biggest hurdle behind cost. And so Bao has basically said, well, we're going to also take that weakness and we're going to make a pate, right? We don't even have to think about texture. We can just focus solely on creating this new novel experience around meat. So for both good meat and wild type, I would eat their products over plant-based meat every single time. It is a good product. If someone gave me plant-based chicken and someone gave me good meat chicken, of course I would choose the good meat chicken every single time. It is a good product, but the texture isn't quite there. So I wouldn't choose it over conventional chicken yet. So eventually we'll solve the cost problem through scaling, and eventually we will solve the texture problem. It's a matter of time. I like that Bao is making those weaknesses work for them right now, because that, in theory, enables them to build a long-term sustainable business. The third and final challenge for cultivated meat in general that needs to be solved is around health. There's a growing movement now against ultra-processed foods, rightfully so. In my opinion, at least, these products can't just become another ultra-processed food. We've talked about in previous videos about the Nova scale. Of course, people have criticism of that. People say, oh, well, that's talking about processing. It's not necessarily talking about nutrition, but I think it's still a good scale to use. My belief is if you want a healthy diet, you need to just eat whole foods. If you want to be vegan, you need to eat a whole food plant-based diet. If you're not vegan, you eat a whole food diet, including meat. For these cultivated meats to succeed, of course, we want to replace the ultra-processed foods, the ultra-processed meats that you get today, like Spam, bacon, deli meats. Is the end goal also to replace chicken, salmon, non-processed meats, those meats that would be considered in the 1 or 2 scale? And I think if someone can crack that code, then the technology as a whole looks incredibly great from the perspective of let's move away from animal agriculture completely into cellular agriculture. Maybe it never gets there. And so in that case, we're only really replacing those meats in the 3 to 4 scales with the ultra processed meats, the plant-based meats, which is also a great thing to achieve. When someone says, oh, you shouldn't be investing in this technology because, you know, it's just processed food. It's like, well, we're still doing a lot of good by replacing those ultra-processed foods that have meat in it. The real end goal is to reduce issues around massive animal agriculture. We'll see where things go. That's kind of my read on where the market is today. Thanks as always for watching. Congrats to Val. We'll catch you in the next video.
Let's keep rising all night. Let's keep it rising.